wait a couple minutes. Or maybe we can probably just start because it'll start for people as soon as they hop on. So. Okay, welcome to the call for tonight is Thursday, May 7th. Welcome to our team call. I am really excited to have you guys join us here tonight, and we have a lot of guests as well. On the call tonight, we have Katria Summerfield, who is a 1-star diamond.
Hi.
Danielle Hogel, who is a 2-star diamond.
Hey, everyone.
And Danielle also teaches live fitness classes. We have Annie. Annie, I don't know how to say your last name.
Piguero.
Annie Piguero, who is almost a 2-star diamond. You're 2-star qualifying, right?
Right.
Okay, and we have Audrey Goff, who is a 3-star diamond as of today, so congratulations.
Thank you.
And I normally start the call with rank shout-outs, so I do want to give a shout-out to one of my coaches, Dusty, who is Emerald rank today. So congratulations. We are going to jump right in. So kind of the format for this call is I'm going to moderate it. I'm going to ask a question, just reading through the event page. I'll pick one, and then one of the coaches on this call will answer it. And I'm going to try to direct them to coaches who have experience with that, if I know of that. And as you are watching this, if you think of additional questions, if we have extra time at the end and we've already answered all the questions on the event page, then I will go to the YouTube page and check to see if there are any additional questions. So as you're watching this on YouTube, if you have questions, go ahead and post in the chat box. And we've never hosted a call with this format before, so I'm not exactly sure how it's going to work, but hopefully it's working. And if not, send me a message. But I won't get it because I won't know that it's So, okay. So we're going to start with a question from Megan, which is, what is your favorite personal development book? And I figured we could all take a turn answering this because you can never have too much personal development to read. So, Katria, would you like to go first?
We can't hear you. Muted.
Nope, we can't hear you, Katria. We could hear you earlier.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, great. My favorite book is EntreLeadership by Dave Ramsey. I've probably listened to it like 5 times. I just love the way he runs his business. He has great policies like a no gossip policy, and he recommends his team members have to read certain books, and he just gives a lot of great ideas in that book.
Okay, awesome. Danielle.
Oh, this one's really hard for me because I love so many books, but I would say probably The Magic of Thinking Big and How to Win Friends and Influence People. And really that's because those are the first 2 books that I started out with, and I think it really helped me start building relationships and seeing people in a different light. So I think those 2 are ones that I would really recommend.
Audrey?
Let's see. The ones that have already been mentioned are awesome. I love those. I would say, and this is one of the first ones that I read, is The Compound Effect. I know for us coaches who've been around a while, it's kind of an oldie, but it's such a goodie. And when I read that book, I was like, oh my gosh, everybody needs to read this book, even if you're not a coach. It's just such a great such great advice for life, really. So I really like that one. I loved also just Chalene Johnson's Car Talk series. I really got into that. So.
Okay, awesome. Annie.
Yeah, now that you said Car Talk, I'm like, that really changed my whole business. What? Car Smart. Car Smart. Car Talk. That's Click and Clack on NPR. Car Smart. Yeah, that totally changed my whole mindset and my whole business, really, when I listened to that first. And then that motivated me to read Chalene Johnson's Push, which then, put me in a whole other mindset. I'm like, yeah, I could totally do this.
And also Dave Ramsey's Entre Leadership. And I tend to stick with the ones whose voice that really resonates with me. And those two, Chalene Johnson and Dave Ramsey, like I just love the way they're no bull. They just tell it like it is, and they just offer really great advice. You can take it or leave it, and those are my favorite ones.
Awesome. I've read all of those books, and they're all great. My favorite personal development book, probably because I'm just kind of in the middle of it right now, is called Playing Big by Kim Flynn, and it's all about systematizing your business and its actual action steps to use. And it has been really helpful for me, basically having her say, no, go do this right now, and not just being inspirational, but actually something I can do. And another thing I will say, I feel like I find inspiration in almost any book that I read also. So a book I'm reading right now is called Up From Slavery, and it's the autobiography of Booker T. Washington. And it has been such a good book. His work ethic is so impressive, and he just casually throws things in there that I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I keep highlighting parts of that book, and I wasn't even reading it for personal development, but I'm still having a ton of takeaways. So I think that as you focus on your business, you'll start to see that that happens all the time. Even when I'm at church, sometimes I'm like, oh, I can apply this to Beachbody. Which is probably not what I should be thinking, and vice versa. I think that about Beachbody stuff also, but it's just everywhere that I am, I notice that kind of stuff. Okay, let's see. Next question. If you could tell a new coach one thing you wish someone had told you when you were a new coach, what would it be? And I'm going to start with Katria. I'm kind of going in the order that people are on my screen. So go ahead.
I was hoping I got this question actually. I was thinking about this a lot, and I was thinking the 3 vital behaviors, okay, confidence, but we all talk about that a lot, I think. But something that I wish someone told me, get your butt to Summit, because my first year of coaching, I was in Las Vegas. My mom said, go to Summit. I'll even pay for it and watch your kids. And I didn't because I thought, oh, I don't think the team would really like me. I'm 40 pounds heavier than all of them. I'm just not going to fit in. But that is so not true. There are all shapes and sizes there. Everyone, even people not even on our team, will just welcome you automatically. It's such an amazing experience. So get your butt to Summit.
That is good advice. I like that. Okay, next question. What have you oh, and I meant to say, if somebody else has something that they want to throw in, like Katria finishes answering the question and you're like, but wait, I had a really good answer, just go ahead and stop me and say it anyhow, because I'm sure everybody would love to hear it.
I have something.
Okay, go ahead.
Make your social media public, okay? Make your social media public right away. I didn't do it for 2 years. What? Okay, that's crazy. Just put yourself out there, and if you think that you're private and your stuff is private, it's totally not. People can still get in there and see your stuff. If you put it on the internet, it's still out there. So if it's something that you don't want everyone to see, don't put it on the internet. If you're on a private page, public page, whatever. But if you want your business to be successful, you have to get yourself public and make yourself a like page now.
Okay, awesome. Okay, next question. What have you struggled with the most in this business, and how have you or are you overcoming it? Does anybody in particular want to answer this? Otherwise, I'm going to call on Danielle.
I'll take that one, I guess.
Okay.
For me, when I was starting out, I struggled a lot with I guess finding coaches who wanted to work the business. I think that's something that a lot of coaches struggle with. But I don't know, for a whole year and a half, really, almost a year and a half, I was like, I cannot get anyone to want to work this business. How do I find those people? And it finally dawned on me that I had to actually start targeting those people and actually start, for lack of a better term, I guess, marketing to them and talking more about the business. And I was an Emerald coach, So how do you start talking about the business when you're an Emerald coach and you're not making a whole lot of money? I was an Emerald coach for over a year, and my business did not grow except for lots of discount coaches, and I really didn't see any growth in my business because I couldn't find anyone who wanted to work the business. And so I started advertising for mentorships. I started talking more about, and really I did that, and I was an Emerald coach. So I figured at least if I signed someone up, I could at least help them get to Emerald, and then hopefully by that point I will have learned something more to tell them. Like you just have to be not afraid to share what at least you have learned something in this business so far that you can share with someone else. And then plus we have an entire team that can help you. So anyway, just don't be afraid to do big things like that are scary. So those were probably a big thing that helped me overcome that. And then I just started talking about the business more and what it's done for my life, how I feel because I'm a coach, not just about my challengers and challenge groups. That's a really important part of what we do, but just kind of integrating more about the business into what I was posting, even before I had anything to share financially about it. So.
Good. That's really helpful. I think that was another person's question also. So maybe another person can answer that also later and just give more advice. That's something that a lot of people struggle with too, because I feel the same way that you do, Audrey, because the first year and a half or 2 years I didn't have coaches I had one coach who was working the business, and besides that it was just me trying to do it. And same thing, I started trying to actually target people that I wanted to work with, and it made a big difference. So. Okay, what are some examples of some posts that you have gotten the most response from? So maybe we can all answer this one. A post that you made that you have gotten the most response from. And let's see, Annie. Go backwards.
Whenever I post something about my family, it just is off the charts. I just get so many likes and comments, and then I kind of smartened up and started adding a business twist to when I put pictures of Lily and just things that we're doing. Like I'll post like Family Adventure Day, and then I'll somehow bring it back to Beachbody or something relating to the business. So, and that has been doing really well, and that's something that I just started doing. So if you can find a way to tie in your cute kids with the business and joining your challenge groups, that would be great.
Okay, Audrey.
I agree with the family thing, and really the deeper I get into the family, I'm actually just thinking recently one that got a ton of traction for me that was like, I was like bawling as I was typing it because it was, and I was so unsure if it was something that I should even share because I hadn't told very many people about it, but it was basically my son, Abraham, who's 7 months old now, he was a twin. And so that was, we lost a baby, and it was a very emotional time and hard for me to recover from that. I felt like I was, in a depression actually for a few months there. And anyway, so I actually talked a little bit about that, and I shared it publicly on my like page, and people just were reaching out like crazy. I felt so much support, and it got, it wasn't like, oh yay, it's all for like the traction, but it was something that I felt like I really connected with a lot of people on that level, and so it gave more value to my page.
Danielle.
So I'm kind of opposite of everyone else because I don't have children. So I can't find cute pictures of children or anything like that. So I had to get creative, and actually some of the posts that get the most likes are when I post a picture of me and my boyfriend. It's really annoying actually because it's like, why can't you like me and not him? He gets a lot of likes apparently. I don't know. So that's one of them that gets a lot of likes. And then, but in addition to that, there are others other than him. Thank goodness. But no. But in seriousness, the posts that get the most are usually ones that have nothing to do with Beachbody, but are usually when I'm sharing my story. So I don't know about you, but so I haven't always been into health and fitness. This is new for the past 3 years for me. So I still struggle. I still crave McDonald's. I still, I want that. I struggle with doing my workouts when I'm not teaching my classes. So I share those things with people and tell them, keep sharing my journey with them, even though it's been 3 years. Those are usually the ones where people can connect more because they see you as a real person and not someone who's like this fitness expert. That's what they want to see. So those are mine.
Patria?
I agree with the family ones for me too, especially the ones where I show what my kids are eating because I get a lot of questions on how to get kids to eat healthy. But also my before and after pictures usually get a ton of likes, and it's the ones where I show more skin too, where they see my big belly before and the after result.
Good. It's family for me also, and for me, when I share anything cancer related or about being a cancer survivor, I get a lot of likes. And also, probably my most popular post ever is when I talked about driving into the little ordering thing at Sonic. That was a lot of comments on that one. So, so embarrassing stuff people will comment on. All right, next.
Thanks,
What
people.
forms of social media do you use and why? Who has not answered the question? Danielle.
Right now, I only use Facebook, and I just recently switched to a like page, and I am using Instagram. Those are really the only two that I'm really focused on right now. And the question was why? Because I don't have, as everyone else, I don't have a whole lot of time, so I just choose, based on Shalene and other people who are the experts. They just pick two and focus on those. So my two main focuses, and they overlap a lot for me, so I can make one post for Instagram and still share it on Facebook. I try to make the wording a little bit different, so that way people, if you follow me on Facebook and Instagram, it's not as annoying because I'm trying to share different things. But yeah, so those are my two.
Does anybody use something different that they're having good success with besides Facebook and Instagram?
I'm starting to do a little bit more on Pinterest.
Yeah.
I Pinterest Natalie Jill Fitz Pinfinity, and I haven't fully dove into that yet, but she's got some really great advice and easy step-by-step things to follow to help your Pinterest account grow. So I've been working on that. So Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest.
I also have a blog, so I don't really use Instagram. I just use my Facebook page and my blog, and I do use Pinterest, but the only thing I use it for is to pin my own blog posts. So I don't actually use it or try to grow anything, but almost all of my blog traffic comes from Pinterest, and it's almost all from recipes. And you would think, if somebody's going to your blog because they want a 21-day fix recipe, they probably already have a coach, but surprisingly, a lot of people don't have a coach. They've just ordered it, and they see the recipes, and then they do email me. So they're a program, but sometimes they will sign up as a coach or order Shakeology or something. So, let's see. Next question. Do you think the use of business cards could contribute significantly to building your business? Does anybody here have business cards that they use?
I do.
Okay.
Well, I have them, so I'll answer that question. I bought business cards 3 years ago, or in the beginning of my business, the cards, and I still have thousands of them. I got a really good deal, and I think for me, they made me feel a little bit more professional. I took myself a little more seriously, I think, having those, because now I started treating it as a business, and business cards made me feel that way. However, what I found was that when I started business cards, I wasn't getting their information, so they weren't contacting me, and I had no way to get a hold of them, even if they were somewhat interested. I to the card, threw it away, or accidentally threw it away, or looked it up online, bought it from somebody else. So instead, now what I do is, instead of giving them a card, I may still give them a card at the end of our conversation, but I do now say, hey, do you have Facebook? Let me add you real quick, and I add them as a friend right there as we're talking. or I write down their information, their email address or whatnot when I meet them in person. The only benefit, if any of you teach classes, the only benefit that I find for business cards is that in my class, then I can just say, hey guys, here are my cards, and add me on Facebook because I have my link to my Facebook on my cards. The gym isn't upset that I'm promoting myself or anything like that. I'm just simply saying, here, add me as a friend and that kind of thing. So in my opinion, I don't think business cards will make you or break you. If you need a little confidence boost, I don't think it can hurt to have them. But when you're talking to people, you always got to make sure that you get their information and not just give them yours. That's all I got.
I agree. I have business cards. I've ordered business cards 3 times because I keep like remaking myself, and I've never given out more than like 10. Sometimes I put them in my Shakeology samples that I send out, and that's about it. Okay. Next question. I have also heard some conflicting information. I've heard some coaches suggest offering free nutritional groups first. Others strongly recommend offering challenge groups first, and then on another webcast they suggested just share the business model first to attract the most people. I know we use a combination of all of these, but what do you think is the most effective? Let's do Annie.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a combination. I mean, I think that just, trying some different things every now and then and mixing it up. For right now, I mean, in my 2-star diamond qual, I don't have like a total system for that. I think that I started out like just doing challenge groups, but I wasn't getting the interest that I wanted and that I needed. So now we're doing team-wide challenge groups on my team, and that has really been working. We're in our first month of doing that. So if you like thinking about maybe teaming up with someone or like a group of people to do like a joint challenge group with a couple different people, but where I've gotten most of my traction and brand new customers lately is from free groups. And I started doing just something simple, like a sugar-free group. I actually just posted that yesterday, and it's getting a ton of response because people are addicted to sugar. Like I love sugar, and sometimes I hide in the kitchen because I don't want to share it. But I mean, I think that just something that if you know your audience and just offering them something that might fix a problem that they have. So now we're doing a sugar-free group plus adding the Team Beachbody on demand, the free 30 days of that. So, and which is something that I was kind of opposed to at first because the prospective customers have to enter their credit card number, and I'm like, well, nobody's going to want to do that. But I was wrong, and they totally do. So just finding a way to, showcase how fantastic you are. Just giving a little bit of yourself and, just showing a little bit of your awesomeness for free to someone a little bit closer instead of like putting it all out there to social media. So finding creative ways to do that is really helpful.
That is good. Okay, next question. What are the pros and cons of vendor events? And when you participate in one, what type of visuals, giveaway, and or items for purchase do you display? Have any of you done a vendor event that you felt like was very successful? Okay.
I have.
Okay. Yeah.
I've only done one by myself, but I was sitting right next to It Works, Isogenics, Advocare, so I was really intimidated. But something I did different than them was I didn't have a bunch of products on the table. I did put a little bit of Shakeology in maybe one program, but I had this board that I made of our team's success stories, and then also events that we went to, so the Success Club cruise that I went on and Summit, and they were just asking so many questions about, well, how did you get on that cruise, and who are these people? And it was really neat to say, well, this is my friend that lost this much weight, and it was just more relatable. And I also did a little survey so that I could stop everybody at my table, and that worked really well too. And it would just ask questions about their health so I could figure out what they needed with whether it would be a free group or a challenge group.
And Katria, from what I remember you telling me about that, that made you stand out from those other companies because it was more about the team aspect, and they were just all about this is our product, 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 and you were like, we have look at all these people that we are like on a team together. So I remember that was something that.
Yeah, for sure. It made me feel a lot better when my table was crowded and Advocare's wasn't.
I'll add something to that too. I did one, and I'm not saying that it was successful, but one thing I think if you're a newer coach and you're getting started, I don't think that it can hurt to do a vendor event because I think it will get you out of your comfort zone and really talking to people. And I think you're going to say stupid things. You're going to be like, why did I say that? Because that happened to me a lot. But then I think over time, it really just helped to build confidence and know how to talk to people even more. At the same time, though, if you are a newer coach and you feel like you got to start a fit club, you got to do a shake and share, you got to do a vendor event, you got to do home parties, you got to do all these things, I want to just let you know that for Katria said that we haven't really had a successful vendor event and we don't really do them often. So you can have success in this business without doing those things. So don't feel stressed and overwhelmed like you have to do those. But if you can, I would team up with someone, especially if you can team up with maybe your sponsor or someone who's been around for a while, because I did one with Tara, and it was really good to hear her, the way that she talked to people and was talking about Shakeology and different things like that. So
I've done a couple, and all of mine were I only invested like $25 or $40 in them, so they were low investment to begin with. And I didn't have any success in terms of selling at the event, but my only goal there was to get them to add me on Facebook. And then over the course of the next year or even 2 years, I did have people who eventually would order from me. So I would say if you go to an event and you try to host one and you don't have any luck right then, that's okay. Just try to add them to your network and keep being consistent in your business, and eventually it will pay off. And there's been months where I was like, oh, I'm so glad I did that event because I got my last point from this person who I haven't talked to in 2 years. And this was a while ago, but 2 years after my event, this girl just randomly messaged me and said, hey, I was about to order T25 on Amazon, but then I remembered you. Can I buy it from you? So, I mean, that kind of stuff happens. So, all right, next question. Any advice for those who run into Beachbody skeptics, specifically if they are someone close to you? Let's do Audrey.
Okay. This is a tough one, I think. I don't know. I think you just have to know what you believe in and always come back to why we're doing what we're doing, because actually I was kind of skeptical and struggled with believing in this business when I first started myself, and that made it difficult for me to, I guess, not stand up, but just kind of stick up for myself when when my dad was like not giving this any credit, as far as it being a credible like job or something. But I don't know. I just think you have to know why. The more that I did this business and then going to Summit and seeing this business in action, like the company, what they are and what they stand for, that made me gain a lot more confidence in what we offer. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that what we offer is extremely valuable and that people need what we have. And I have no problem just saying like, okay, well, I love it. So I mean, I don't know what else to say to answer this question. Like, you cannot change someone else's mind for them. Like, the fact that that they doubt what you're doing cannot affect what you're doing. Like, you have to kind of keep your blinders on and just stay focused on finding people who do want what you have to offer, and the people who are skeptical and doubtful, like, they just kind of later on, when you are like super successful, and they'll just be like, oh, well, I guess it's working out for her. Like, I mean, I don't know what else to really say to answer that question. Maybe I was the wrong person to answer this one, but that's how I've handled it, I guess. So.
No, I think.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, Audrey, I think that was great. I mean, I really think that's what it comes down to, is the confidence, and it's going to events and I think when you get to see Carl and you get to see all the people at Beachbody, you get to see what they're really about, and then that really builds your confidence. So I think it's all about confidence. At the same time, when I first started, my entire family and boyfriend, everybody was, okay, you don't need to do that, and be careful. And so my goal was to prove them wrong. So I think if you go with it and with that attitude, at least it worked for me. I was proving them wrong that Shakeology was going to work, TurboFire was going to work, the business is going to work. And even to this day, I just messaged Amy the other day and said sometimes the only thing that keeps me going is knowing that I still have to prove everybody wrong, because I'm not going to let anyone else be like, oh, we were right, it's a scam, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm going to make sure that you know that I was right and you were wrong. So how I go about it.
I was just going to say, I don't think that people are generally really skeptical of the fitness programs, because most people have heard of P90X or Insanity or know somebody who's been affected by it. It's more the business side, and it's, multi-level marketing, direct sales, people that just has a bad name. People have a negative thought about that in their head. I don't really feel like, besides my husband, I don't really feel like any of my family is supportive of this, and none of them see it as a legitimate career, despite the fact that I make more than almost all of them now. Like, they just don't think that it's a real thing, and I just am okay with that. I surround myself with people who are successful, like following on Facebook and going to events and doing calls like this. I just surround myself with people who are having good luck with this, working really hard, having success, and then that's what I see. And I'm just like, you do whatever you want, but in a couple years you're going to be sad that you didn't join me. So it's okay. I really don't have like any of my best friends or my family who are on my team doing this. None of them want to do this with me, and I'm like, okay, find new friends. Isn't that what Shalene says in one of the TurboFire videos? She's like, your friends don't want to work out, just find new friends. So that's what I'm doing. So if your friends are skeptical, let's find new friends. What is one piece of advice that someone gave you wish you would have implemented sooner? Anybody? Let's all answer this question, but like one sentence. Like, just say the thing without elaborating. Katria.
Mine would be consistent.
Okay. Danielle.
Believe that you can be successful in this business.
Audrey.
Maybe the potential, but kind of going along with what Danielle said, the potential in this business, if I had known that from the very beginning, I think I would have tried harder in the beginning.
Annie.
Talk about the business more.
I'm writing these down. I, for me, would say just get started. Like, you don't have to be perfect to be able to do this. You don't have to know everything, and you don't have to read the policies or watch the videos like 6 times. Just start doing it, and you'll probably fail. And we still all fail, like every week, probably every month. But the difference between being successful and not is that it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to do something. So, okay. Next question. How do you keep coaches engaged through the hard first month when it's overwhelming? And, okay, let's go with that one first. How do you keep coaches engaged during the first month?
Be in contact with them all the time. And you really have to follow their lead. You can't force them into it. Like, you have to show them, tell them this is what you have to do.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Well, we might have lost her. I would agree with that. No, that's kind of what I was thinking also.
All of them, and just really talk them through all of this and what this is all about. Just, it's not about being at your goal body. It's not about having that before and after. It's about the whole journey, and I really encourage them to start as soon as they can. because the best way to learn is just by doing it. And so once we've had that conversation, and this is, of course, after we've already talked about what they actually want to do and if they actually want to work this business, and then really just feed their fire, and telling them the next step for them to do, and just really be engaged with them, and help them as much as you can. Like, just let them know. In the beginning, I didn't realize how much help new coaches really should get, and you should give them a lot of help, like more than you think, because sometimes I forget that they need everything written out, because I've been doing this for so long. I'm like, oh yeah, they probably need just me to explain this like to a T, like exactly the wording to respond to this person's question, or when someone's interested in a challenge group that they're running, this is how you respond to that. Like, just really telling them exactly so that they don't have to freak out at any point. They can be like, okay, I don't know what to do, but Audrey said she's going to help me, so I'm going to go contact her, and she's going to tell me what to do so I don't have to mess this up, but also telling them that it's okay to mess up, and it's okay to, you're not going to ruin your business if you make mistakes. So just, I don't know, just being super engaged with them, and, host their first challenge group with them. Just be there for them. I rarely host a challenge group by myself anymore, because I'm always hosting them with new coaches. So be engaged.
Okay, incentives for coaches. Do you do incentives, and do you think they work? Here's my theory on this. I think that if people want to do this, they will do it regardless of the incentive. Like, I don't hit Success Club so that I get a prize. Like, I just do it because I know that that's the crucial stuff I need to do every single month to keep my business moving. However, I love prizes, so I do still give them out every month. Partly because I'm like, I'll earn Success Club for sure, so I'll at least get to buy this for myself. And then maybe everybody else can have matching ones, because I also love matching stuff. So I do like incentives. Do any of you guys do incentives?
I do incentives, and I feel like for me, it started out as hopefully a way to encourage them to get Success Club, but then I realized a lot of them were like, oh, and you're giving me this? Like, what? So it definitely wasn't the reason they were hitting Success Club, just like you said, Amy, but I find that it helps me feel like I'm showing them that I appreciate their hard work, and that I'm recognizing them for succeeding and doing these things that move their business forward. So it's more like a reward just for, I don't know, just me showing them that I see what they're doing,
I try to do a lot of like team branded stuff now for my incentives, because I feel like that's, team culture building, and like we kind of represent, each other rather than more generic type stuff. All right, next question. Okay, once people seem interested in joining your challenge group, how do you message them to tell them they have to buy a challenge pack first? How would you word that message so they don't lose interest? Danielle.
So how do you, so they're interested, so we're interested, and they need to get a challenge pack, but you don't know how to say the words that you need to get a challenge pack. So one thing that I do, I don't know that I'm going to give you exact words to say, but for me, I assume the sale. I assume they've come to me, they're interested. I should have already had conversations with them of wanting to know their goals, what their struggles are, what they want to accomplish, and giving them some stories and hopefully shared some videos with them of what the products look like, some people's results, things like that, to where they already understand the value of what I'm going to offer them. So that way when I go into it and I say, great, my challenge group is going to start on, I don't know, May 17th. So we'll go ahead and we'll get you started with a workout program and a meal plan that's going to get you the results that you're looking for, and I'm really excited about this. Hope you're just as excited as well. So all I need is your email address and what your favorite flavor of ice cream is. And the reason that I do that, I actually got that from one of my coaches, is I have them thinking about ice cream, and that what I'm going to share with them next is ice cream. And then they tell me chocolate, then I say, great, so we're going to get you on in addition to the meal plan and your workout program and all of that, we're going to get you on what I use, which is called Shakeology. I've used it for 3 years. I give my story about how Shakeology has worked for me, and then I say, we'll get you set up with Shakeology. So give me just a minute, and I will get your order set up for you, and you'll get an email to confirm. So I don't ask them if they're ready for a challenge pack. I don't ask them if they want Shakeology. I just assume that because they've come to me and they're ready to get started with me, that's the expectation. So so that's how I go into it. But before I get into that part, I do have those conversations of what types of workouts do you like? Do you like dancey fun workouts? Do you like boot camp workouts? Do you like yoga, Pilates type stuff? What do you like? That way I can know what I'm gearing them towards. And then we talk about meal plans. Have you followed a meal plan before? Struggled the most? What types of foods do you like and don't you like? And things like that, so I can get a better idea. So I think through that whole process, that is me being that I have their best interest in mind. So that way when I share with them, here's the expectation and what you're going to get with this, they then already know that, I'm not trying to give them something they don't need. We've talked through those things. But I do like using the ice cream, what flavor of ice cream do you like, and having those conversations, and just assuming that they're ready. So I ask for their email address, I ask for the flavor that they want, and then I say, you're going to get an email in just a second to confirm. At that point, if they have any issues, that's when they raise them with me, but I don't let that even come up yet at that point.
Okay, awesome. So I just kind of looked through the questions, and we have about 10 questions left and about 19 minutes until we're at an hour here. So let's try to keep our answers to like 2 minutes. We're all chatty people, so I don't know if that's possible, but I do want to try to get through them all. So just to like give you a heads up of kind of where we are. Next question. Where do you search for more coach prospects, feeling like I'm at a standstill and don't want to keep harassing the same people, including my current challengers? Maybe I'm posting the wrong ads or asking the wrong people. And then kind of as a follow-up, how do you talk to people about coaching when they aren't in a challenge group or have nothing to do with the business? So I can just share kind of my personal experience with this. I kind of have felt that way because I've been a coach now for 3 years. I feel like my warm market is starting to get kind of exhausted. Everybody that I know is either not interested or they've tried it and quit, or they already are a coach. And so I started using Facebook ads, and that has been really successful for me. Most of those people were not on Shakeology, or they were not already doing a fitness program. Half of them hadn't even heard of Beachbody before. And in my talking to them in the initial part of that process, I basically told them, first, you're going to get in shape, and we're going to spend 3 weeks doing that. And then when you have results, then we're going to start pushing, start your business. You can share what has worked for you. You've seen how a challenge group worked because you've been in one, and I'll teach you how to build a business like what I have. And that has worked really well for me. So even if they're not in a challenge group or, not fit to start with, I think it's been helpful for my business to search out people who actually want a business and want to make extra money versus just talking to my challengers about what I do, which I really didn't ever have luck with. And also by doing the ads, I was really able to attract people who are like me and who relate to me. And so consequently, when I've had my Getting Started Right calls, a lot of times I get on and I'm like, oh, this is I feel like you're my best friend and I've known you forever, and you totally get me, which doesn't always happen. So, especially because I am not super fitness oriented. I know Audrey and Annie were both personal trainers before Beachbody. Is that correct? Yeah. I was not. I was the girl who was drinking Dr. Pepper and eating Skittles for lunch. There was no fitness going on with me. So I think maybe that's why I've been able to have good luck with people who aren't starting out fitness oriented. So I don't know if that answers the question, but that's what has worked really well for me right now. What is the best way to keep people engaged on your like page without going overboard with Beachbody stuff and Shakeology? Katria.
Ooh, This is not a strength of mine. um,
Does anybody feel like it is their strength that they would
Well,
like to
I
say?
feel like we kind of touched on it already with what posts get a lot of engagement, the
I agree
family
also.
stuff, and yeah.
Yeah, just talking about what works for us on our page. Okay, when you make a website, when should you make a website, or is that detrimental to having a like page? I know we don't want to be on too many different social media outlets. Um, I can say this because do any of you guys have websites that you actually use? I
I
think
have
I'm the only one who does. Um, I started mine well, I actually started my blog like just over a year ago, and have been mostly consistently using it since then. Um, like we talked about before, two things of social media is normally a good ratio. So if that's one of your two things and you're going to spend time devoted to it, then I think it's a good option. If you're already on to other things, I wouldn't devote time to it. But if you want to pick it as one of your things, it can be beneficial. But you have to be committed to it. Like, I didn't start advertising my blog until I had like 25 or 40 posts on it because I didn't want people to go to it and then be like, oh wait, this is like not very much stuff. So the whole month of December, not this year, but the year before, I just like wrote blog posts for 1 month and posted them all. Um, so if you're going to start a website, just make sure you're going to actually use it and have it be one of your two things.
I have a
How
website, and the one thing that I do use it for is it has a contact page, and I do get a lot of traffic from the contact page, and it has like the little Facebook icons and everything. But sometimes people like to see my story, and I have a lot of testimonials on there and a lot of before and after pictures. So I think like having one place for the testimonials has been really great for me. And then my opt-in is on there too. So I have an ebook, and I can always send people to my website to download my fitness ebook. And that like seems like maybe overwhelming. It was so overwhelming for me at first, but it was really a very easy process. And you don't need a website to have a page where you can give something away for free. So if anybody like has any questions about that, like please send me a message, and I'd love to help you. Like not do a whole website, but maybe just get an opt-in page so you can build an email list.
That's good. Annie, how are you sending people to that page? Are they just people that you already know? Like, how are you getting traffic there?
Sometimes I post it on my social media, and I have it in all of the about sections on all of my social media, even the ones that I don't use very much. I have a pin that goes to it, and I put it in all of the about, so all somebody has to do is click a link, and it goes right there.
All right. How often should you do challenge groups, or what types are the most effective for free? Okay, so we've already kind of talked about challenge groups. Just real quickly, how often do you guys all do challenge groups?
Every month.
Okay. Every month. That's what I also try to do every month. What types are the most effective? We've kind of already talked about that. But then it also says, what types are the most effective for freemiums? I don't know if that's still talking about challenge groups because it's still in the same line. Annie, you said you have an ebook for a freemium. Does anybody else have a freemium anywhere to collect information? I have a 5-day meal plan on my website that is a freemium. And it has been pretty good at attracting my target market. Are team groups performing better than solo challenge groups? Just in general, do you guys think your team groups do better than the ones you run by yourself? I think yes, for me, because there's normally more people involved. Sometimes when I'm doing it by myself, I only have like 3 to 5 people. But when you invite more people are interacting.
Yeah, and I think you can build on each other's strengths. So where one person may be really into the fitness part and can give extra tips, and another person, like I have a coach who's a dietitian, she adds more stuff about nutrition and things like that. So I think you can bounce more ideas around and offer more things. But yeah, I think it's usually a numbers thing.
I think it's good as long as you have like expectations in place. We have a Google Drive document where everybody signs up to do a post. So like all the Emerald and above coaches know that they have to sign up to do something, and everybody is required to like check in there at least once a day, or else it gets a little bit too much work for me. And it's great to have a team thing, but just as long as the expectations are clear.
Did any of you have a launch party out of your home? If so, what made it successful, or what do you wish you could have done differently or better? Did any of you do that? I did not either. I have had 2 Shakeology parties, and I did them. We lived in Arizona, and I went back to visit my family, and I had a party at my mom's house and a party at my mother-in-law's house while we were back visiting, and it was very successful. At one, I had like maybe 15 people show up, and everybody bought something. And at the other one, I only had 3 people show up, and all 3 of them signed up as coaches. So it was very successful for me. But what we did is I used that video that Beachbody sends you when you first sign up. It has like different movies and stuff on it. So I showed the one about what Beachbody was, and then I showed the one about what Shakeology was, and then I would show little clips of different stuff, like different Shakeology videos, and I go to the kitchen and make samples of Shakeology in little Dixie cups, and then after the video is over, come out and hand them around. So everybody got to try all the flavors of Shakeology. And I also brought like E&E results in recovery. Then I showed a fitness program video. So basically I just showed some videos and then talked about my experience. I was still an Emerald coach, and I'd only been a coach for like 2.5 months maybe. But it was really successful for me because, you know, when you go to home parties, you go there expecting to buy. So if you can get people to show up, they will probably order something. So that's my philosophy anyhow. But it worked out really well for me. Okay, my question is how much do you say about the potential for how much money you can make while talking to someone about becoming a coach? I know personally I did not have time for another job, but when I started researching the earning potential, I decided I needed to make the time. I'm getting a lot of, I don't have time for that, and I don't know if I'm not sharing enough about money. Anybody?
I'd say it's all about showing how you sharing the stories of people who did overcome the I don't have time excuse, and
Yeah,
just be consistent about sharing that.
that's the thing Danny Johnson says a lot too. Like when somebody gives you a comment like that, like I don't have time for that, you could say, well, I don't know about that, but I know my friend Danielle, she works a full-time job, and she doesn't get home sometimes until 8 o'clock at night, and she still has found time to be able to have this success. So sometimes sharing another person's story and not making light of their objection, but saying, I understand that, but listen to some examples of other people who are in the same situation as you, that they're having success. And that's good to listen to, like national wake-up calls, because then you have a lot of people's stories, really successful coaches, and you can say, well, I don't know about that, but I know that Lisa Keeler, what's her last name now? Lisa Mohajde, I know that she was a single divorced mom, and she was bankrupt, and she didn't have time or money for this either, and now she, just bought a Bentley last week. So clearly, it works. So knowing people's stories is really helpful. Also, did any of you suck at this when you started? I feel like I do big time. Yes.
I sucked so bad.
We just kept going. Like, well, that sucks. Let me try again. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Like, every single message I sent, I was like, oh, did I say the right thing? That probably wasn't the right thing. And then if somebody actually ordered, I was like, what? For real? Like, yes, I didn't mess up.
Totally.
Somebody else contribute to that.
Yeah, I was all about convincing people. I was like, this is the best program ever. I wish I had designed it, and seriously, you totally need this in your life. And people are like, okay, crazy pants, see ya. But now one of the very first things I ask people, and I still suck occasionally, like I still go back and I'm like, well, what just came out of my mouth? And then I'll have like really great weeks, and I'll be like, oh, I failed. But that's what makes us all stronger and better. But the first thing I do now is like I ask people about goals, and I ask about them, and like I try to really build a relationship, and that's made me not suck so bad.
It also says on this, I feel really unqualified, and I just want to say that, like, if there's ever a person who was really unqualified to do this job, it was me, the Dr. Pepper and Skittle girl, who actually, this is my fourth MLM. I totally failed at the first three, and I was like, never ever going to do this again. And when I did sign up for the discount, which was like 6 months before I started the business, I got this little certificate in the mail that said, you know, congratulations on becoming a Beachbody coach. And of course, my husband got the mail that day, and he was like, what is this? This is ridiculous. Are you kidding me? You've been to the gym like 4 times in your life. You think you're going to coach people? So I'm qualified, and I'm doing okay. So, okay.
Hilarious.
Okay, we only have, let's see, I think we have 2 questions left. So, what is your best advice to someone who is working full-time and in graduate school part-time to keep up with everything? And I'm actually going to tag these 2 together because the other question says, how to best schedule building a business when a full-time job, newborn, and various other obligations don't always allow even time to shower every day, from power hour to power evening or weekend. So let's do that one, and then there's kind of one more question on there. So what do you think? I have 2 answers to this question. The first one is I don't clean my house, and the second one is I don't sleep. So if I know I need to get stuff done, I just stay up, or I just think, well, you know, the dishes can wait till tomorrow because I'm going to do this right now. You can ask my husband. That's all true. He probably wishes it wasn't. But
And yeah, to piggyback off of that, I mean, it's just all about priorities. It depends on how bad you want it. And yeah, you might not be able to work work Beachbody 8 hours a day like you want to or like other coaches get to. But you just have to decide if you really want to do it or not. There was a long period there where I was waking up at 5 in the morning. I had a coach. We would do a call at 5:30 in the morning, and I would work until I had to go to my full-time job. Then I'd get home at night and I'd stay up. I think you got to set business hours, so you have to plan out your day and then decide where are 30-minute gaps where you could put it in there, where you could not do the dishes and you could not watch your TV show or anything like that. Not to deny yourself of things that you want to do, but just to put those where you can do it. So at the same time, though, in addition to priorities, what I always tell myself is, before I got started in this business, I was working full time. I told Tara that I didn't have time to work out, I didn't have time to eat healthy, but somehow I found a way to do those things because I wanted it bad enough. So it goes the same way with your business. You don't want customers telling you that they don't have time to work out, that they don't have time to eat healthy. So don't say that to yourself, to your sponsor. One of my biggest things that I can tell you is that I listen to personal development on all of my drives. I mean, I've gotten through so many national wake-up calls. Just this week, I've listened to old ones to and from work. In my shower, I took a picture for my team one time because I post speakers in my bathroom to listen to personal development. I think while I'm in the shower, I get out, I write down what I'm thinking about, and so you just got to find ways to do those things. If it's waking up early or going to bed later, anything like that. So I could go on for hours about that. But I think you just got to set your schedule and decide how bad you want it. Maybe it's just 15 minutes a day, maybe it's 2 hours a day, whatever it is for you. But you just got to figure that out before you get started. Set a schedule and make it office hours, sit down hours that you work your business.
that's good. I'll tell you, it wasn't me that Danielle was calling at 5:30 in the morning.
No.
We for a while said we were going to do a call at 7:30 on Sunday morning. That has happened 0 times.
Never.
Okay. I felt like I was going to add something to that, but I can't remember what it was. Okay. So here's the last question. If you've lost your momentum and you're stuck and you failed, lost rank, etc., you've already started, what is your best advice for beginning again when you can't really start over?
Pick a date to start a challenge group and just start doing it again. Sorry.
I think we've probably all been there at some point where we're just like, what am I even doing? I haven't, I'm totally stuck. I remember what I was going to say. Okay, so let me go back to the last thing, and hopefully Danielle doesn't get upset that I'm sharing this. At our first summit, It was me and Danielle's both first summit. We've both been coaching for like, I think I was like 3 months and she was like 5 or 6 months. And after the summit events, we were in Tara's room and talking about like just like business brainstorming, planning, and talking about like what our income goals were and how we were going to make that happen. And Danielle was saying, I don't have time. Like, I have all these other things I have to do. And I remember you like adamantly saying, I will not give up my soap opera. Like, I have to watch this every single day, and I'm not willing to sacrifice that because it's something I need. So, she made it work. Even I don't think she ever gave up her soap opera, and it still works out. So, you can make it happen without giving up everything you love, also. But that wasn't this question. I know that Danielle and I, because we're success partners, I would say we probably feel stuck like at least every other month that we have to email each other and say, I need you to like let me vent for a minute and then tell me to get over it. And it's really helpful to have a person like that in your life that you can say, no, we're not quitting. We're in this together. We're going to keep going. So remember all the reasons you're awesome, and let's just keep moving forward. So I would say try to find a person like that in your life that can pick you back up and keep you headed on the right path also in terms of the business.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off of that too. Find your success partner, and then at the same time, during that time, that's when you really don't want to do anything at all. You don't want to listen to personal development. You don't want to do anything. So I told, I'm pretty sure I told Amy, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. So I listened to all the National Wake Up Call, got back into my personal development book. I just seriously, morning, night, all day for the past 2 weeks or week, I've been just listening to personal development. That's helped me a lot. And then I just realized, and I just remind myself that my team really needs me, and I've been slacking. And so I started doing more things in the team and trying to get them to do things, and I started scheduling calls, which makes me more excited. So you just have to take action even when you don't want to, because the action is going to give you. If you haven't read the Motivation Manifesto, I really suggest that. I like that a lot because he talks about how, you don't just come up with motivation. You have to act, and then with Adam's motivation. And so you just got to take those steps and just start doing stuff.
I completely agree with that. Just start doing again. If you're feeling stuck and feeling like you don't know how to get back into it, just remember the core of what our business is helping people. So dive back into challenge groups, dive back into, whatever coaches you have on your team to lead. Bring your focus back to the basics.
That's really good. Okay, so sorry we were kind of talking fast there for the last 20 minutes, but we did get through all of the questions, and it's 10 o'clock now. So thank you guys all who took the time to watch this call, and thank you to all of you guys for coming on here and taking some time to answer these questions. And I think I speak for all of us. If you want further clarification or you have other questions, feel free to email us or post again in the event page, and we will try to answer your questions and help as much as we can also. But thank you for hopping on here and joining our call tonight. Have a good week.